My name is Kwabena Chenche Heneboati. Many thanks for joining us here on News Today. To our very first story this afternoon, undefeated NPP parliamentary candidate for the Klote Kole constituency, Nino Norte, has announced his decision to contest the seat as an independent candidate. Nino, having won the party's primary last year, lost out to legal practitioner Philip Addison following a rerun of last year's poll. The outcome of last month's election did not go down well with Nino, who threatened to go independent if the party failed to address the issues of overvoting in that election. Well, at a media briefing a while ago, Valentino Nino Norte announced his decision to contest the Klote Kole parliamentary seat as an independent candidate, accusing some NPP bigwigs of rigging the primary to favor his opponent, Philip Addison.
I was convinced that the party will allow the voice of the masses to hold. A court action was brought against the party. To my surprise, the current managers of the party failed to attend to the issues raised. In effect, there was a default judgment because the party failed to file a statement of defense. The judgment was obtained the same day I was joined to the action. Realizing that as a party, my lawyers will apply to have the judgment set aside, lawyers for the plaintiffs quickly discontinued the case against the party. There was no relief against me. So with the action against the party gone, there was nothing to try, and I was therefore not heard in court. The issue as to whether there should be a rerun was never tried on merits. It was never tried on merits. I, Valentino Nino Norte, shall contest as parliamentary candidate. Shall contest as parliamentary candidate in the 2016 parliamentary elections in Klote Kole constituency. And I shall contest as the face of hope for the youth, the women, elderly, and the people who have believed in the Streetism campaign. I ask for strength from above, and I believe this is the doing of the Lord and his plans for me in Klote Kole. While others may have the big men on their side, I have the foot soldiers. As our abortive court petition showed, elections are won on the grounds, at the polling stations, and not in court.
Thank you.
I am off by and for Klote Kole. Together we shall prevail. No artificial transplant can feel the pain of our people as genuine as one of our own. I come into this race with a heart filled with compassion to see our constituency develop, a heart to see our youth gain employment, a heart to see Klote Kole as the heart of Ghana. As my senior brother, Lawyer Addison, said, he has the blessing and the backing of Nanado. I, Ninoy, say, I have the blessing and unflinching support of the grassroots. My primary objective of entering this race is to give the good people of Klote Kole, especially the youth, a sense of belonging and hope and not hopelessness. To help them find jobs and to enable them create their own businesses. In this race, man's will shall not be God's will. The will of God shall definitely prevail over evil. My brother asked about our acting general secretary, John Boydu, saying he had called me. Let me make this clear to my good brother John Boydu. I only received a call from him yesterday, and I think this call came because they heard I was going to have a press conference. And he's a personal friend. He's a brother. He's been supportive at the time when I was constituency chairman and all that. But let me make this clear again, that the party itself, to me, most of our people in the party up there lack managerial skills. Because if they had those skills, these issues wouldn't have gotten where it has gotten to.
And those were excerpts of that media briefing held a while ago by Valentino Nino Norte, who just mentioned that he has resolved to run on the ticket, go as an independent candidate for the Clotte Korle constituency. We'll be following this issue keenly and bring you a lot more subsequently. We'll be getting some reactions from the party as well on our news analysis program, The Pulse, which airs at 3 p.m. on this very same channel. But away from that now, an owner of a DAF truck involved in an accident at Kintampo that claimed 61 lives has sued the Metromass company for negligence. Now, 61 people were killed when a Metromass bus and a truck rammed into each other in a fatal accident at Kintampo in the Bunafo region on Wednesday, February 17. But the owner of the truck is suing the Metromass company for negligence, claiming they are to blame for the accident. The plaintiff is among others praying the court to compel Metromass Company Limited to pay general damages of more than 300,000 Ghana cedis for damage caused to their DAF truck and the life of the driver. Seydou Nasigre is a private legal practitioner and lawyer for the plaintiff.
When there's a random action, you sue as a aggrieved person. You sue the other party against whom might have destroyed or caused the damage to you. In that respect, the driver of the other vehicle, you sue. And then vicariously, the fact is that the vehicle was owned by an institution, a company, Metromass. So that is why we are suing Metromass. So then the driver died. So we are suing Metromass as the owner or the owners of those fleet of vehicles.
So I just want to find out something. You are suing Metromass for what? Destroying your car or what?
Oh, yes. General damages, yes. Special damages, because the cost of the vehicle is 200,000 Ghana cedis. We had even paid 150, leaving a balance of 50,000 yet to pay. Then we'll fix the vehicle to our taste, more than 100,000 Ghana cedis. And then the vehicles give an income, weekly income, of 9,500 Ghana cedis. So we'll put all together and ask, simply.
Let me ask this. I mean, one would say, this was an accident. It wasn't like it was planned. And rather than looking at having a human face to this issue, because this accident claimed more than 61 lives. I mean, most of whom were people who were in this Metromass bus. So, if for nothing at all, why don't you just let it go? Why then do you need to make a big fuss out of this? I mean, even lives have been lost. So, I mean, what is money? One would say.
I'm not suing those who lost their lives. I'm suing Metromass for the negligent driving of the late driver. And look, if you bear to care about the circumstance that led to the accident, the driver had knocked and killed 3 cows. That notwithstanding, he never stopped. He continued and sped on. So he was just behind a petrol tanker. The speed was too much. It was careless driving, negligent driving. The speed was so much. I'm sure he envisaged that if he hit the tanker, the consequence might be greater. So he gets to the lane of the incoming vehicle. That happens to be that of my client. And bam, the destruction continued. The driver died. Another driver may die. And so our car destroyed. So Metro is reimbursed. That is a normal thing. There's no human face to it. If I talk about human face, so do you also lose? Is that a position? When we took loans from the bank to purchase this, who should pay it? It's Metromass. And don't forget this. They envisage all this into their planning. To the extent that when there are accidents, they pay. So it's a normal thing. It's not strange. This is not novelty. It's a normal thing that happens every day.
Okay.
It's rather when I don't sue, the person that becomes a novelty.
Right. Let me find out from you what the exact reliefs you are seeking are and when you are due for court.
So we filed our writ against Metromass. That was last week Friday, on the 4th of March. So we're waiting for them to file our appearance and possibly their defense. But if there's a need for us to sit down, we'll start to move on.
So,
as for general damages, and the special damages, what I'm talking of, I said the recovery of 313,000 Ghana cedis, and the interest of that amount from the 17th day of February 2014, when the accident occurred.
Right.
And then the weekly income 9,500 till the day of final payment. Because we're getting income of 9,500, we have not even finished paying the debt of the vehicle. And the interest on that amount, that's what I'm asking for. And possibly the cost and legal fees of the lawyer.
Police have cleared the road for commuters plying the Kaswa-Accra highway. Traffic on that stretch jammed early this morning after a gas tanker was involved in an accident and blocked the road around the Tetegu junction. Firemen and police personnel quickly rushed to the scene to ensure safety. 2 people, according to Joy News' Beatrice Sedu, have sustained injuries and are receiving treatment at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. Emmanuel is the fire operations officer at the Accra Regional Command.
2 tankers, one from Wager and one from Dansoman. Actually, there wasn't any explosion, but we managed to contain the situation, and we used foam in cooling the tank, and we have saved the situation as of now. Thank you very much.
Any amount of danger left here because there was a spill?
For now, yes. We can deploy our men from Wager to just wash the street, and I don't think it imposes any threat.
Are the residents and shop owners here allowed to go about their normal duties? Can they cook? There's a tilapia grill joint there. Can they go about their normal duties?
They can. There's no threat.
What's the condition of the driver?
Actually, he's been taken to the Kolebu Hospital and he's responding to treatment. So from here, we shall make a follow-up and see the condition.
Was the injury that severe?
Regional Police Commander Dr. George Kufudampari says the road is now clear for commuters using that route.
We are, first of all, our concern was to get them to hospital, which fortunately we have gotten a good Samaritan to have that done. Our officers are chasing them, are looking for them at the hospital to assess that situation, and as soon as that information emerges, we will share with the press. The fortunate thing is that if you could look at it, there were 2 issues that we were managing. The individuals who were involved in the accident, and also the accident scene which was causing traffic. And we can say that from the front of the accident scene, the situation, as you can see, is virtually normalized. The case of the condition of the individuals, the following up is being done, and as soon as we have that information, we share with the public.
This particular spot where the accident occurred, I can see, we understand the vehicle that crossed the tanker was trying to make a U-turn. I don't see any traffic signals around. Is there a reason why that is the situation?
The point is this: the fire service is going to conduct an investigation. The police is also having an investigation, and at the appropriate time, we will reconcile the 2 investigations to come to terms with exactly what happened. So as we speak now, what you are telling us is a fresh news to us, which we incorporate into the investigation, but we don't have anything emphatic to that effect, and we don't want to speculate at this time.
Let's stay with issues of security and safety, and police in the Ashanti region have intensified patrol in Drobonso and Agogo following the murder of 2 people there. Now, the 2 were allegedly shot in separate incidents as angry residents retaliated a similar action by Fulani herdsmen in the communities. Insure FM's Ohim Interior has more.
Police have been on high alert. Yesterday, for instance, there were increased police patrols and surveillance in the areas when information got to the police that indeed some other people were still planning reprisal attacks in that regard. Let me also say that the bodies of the 2 people who died in the 2 attacks have been deposited. That of Mr. Abdulatif, the 25-year-old farmer who was shot earlier, has been deposited at the Agogo Presby Hospital morgue, and the second person, the Fulani herdsman, has also been deposited at the Fijasi Government Hospital pending autopsy. When I spoke to the district police commanders in the 2 districts, the information I picked from them was that they believe that there could be more to the story. So they want to get to the ground and investigate the matter properly, because when you talk of the attacks between nomadic herdsmen, popularly known as Fulani, and locals, it was mainly happening in the Agogo district, but now the situation has escalated to adjoining district, that is Afram Plains district. But unfortunately, The two district chief executives are currently in Sunyani taking part in the NALAG program. And when I spoke to the two, the information I picked from them was that they were in a meeting, and very shortly they will come out with a joint statement.
You're watching News Today here on the Joy News channel on Multi TV. We're taking a break. We'll return shortly with some more stories. Don't go away. Many thanks for staying with us here on News Today. To some more stories now. And 5 years after government extended electricity lines to Mafia Gbajikope, a farming community in the Volta region, residents continue to live in darkness. Now, the reason is that the Electricity Company of Ghana has failed to supply electricity meters to the community despite payment of the required amounts. The residents are demanding their meters. They complain the situation is hampering the provision of quality education. Joseph Opokugapo was in the community and filed this report.
This community, Mafia Gbajikope, has a population of more than 500 persons. The community has never had electricity, despite the fact that there are electrical poles all over the community, and you would also find the electrical wirings running all the way from one structure to the other and even to homes. The problem is that for more than 5 years now, there's been the connection of the electricity, but what is left is just the provision of electricity meters.
As we are talking about the light system in this Gbajikope, it's a self-help project that former president before bring to the community. We have this community with everything with communal labor. The pole you can see over here, the cement was given to us by Honorable Jogidisu, who gave us the cement before we use it to build this pole. And we do everything communal labor. Even the workers who came, the contractor who came and work over here, we feed them, we give them money for their food, we give them room to sleep.
They sank a lot of their money, time and energy into the self-help electrification project to bring electricity to the community. But ECG demanded that residents pay for the electricity meters, which they did. They showed the news team receipts of payments made to the ECG as far back as January 2010 by a list of about 100 households for the meters. But despite numerous follow-ups, the ECG has failed to deliver on its side of the bargain. The community is always pitch dark at night, hampering the delivery of quality education.
We are suffering here. We are suffering. If the night court or the people, our students from the school, they don't have light to learn. So they go just and go and learn, go and sleep. With that light, they can't learn. So everything, all what's happening in Ghana, we don't hear anything from it because we don't have light to use TV.
The residents complain this is making it impossible for them to expand business activities.
When we have electricity, we can also have a small refrigerator and put pure water and others, and you'll be selling it and get small money to pay your children's school fees. But nothing like that sort is going on.
They say numerous follow-ups to the ECG's office at Sogakope has proved futile.
We try our best from here up to Sogakope. Even our later reached Minister of Energy for this problem, but nothing like that sources have been done to help us. So we are appealing to them. A person that they have given our meter to, they should find solution for it within a short possible time.
Assembly member for the area, Julius Kaofieve, says the ECG has been unfair to residents.
I've consulted the necessary authorities, the district assembly, the member of parliament, the ECG office, and then still it's the same old story. They will tell you that on paper they've provided meter to this community, they've given it to somebody else, and even the person, they can't mention the name of that person. So for us, it's just an old story that it's an unanswered story that they've always been saying.
Sources at the Sogakope ECG office tell Joy News documentation on the Mafia Gbajikope case has been untraceable. For Joy News, Joseph Opokugapo reporting.
Now, women in Sirigu, a town in the Upper East region, once known for the killing of disabled children, branded as spirit children are causing change with local pottery and sculpture. The venture is creating jobs for the women and putting the town on the global map. Joy News' Justice Beidou brings us a report of how the women are building a new image for the town.
This is Sirigu, a small village on the tip of Ghana's Upper East region. Desperately poor, it feels like a place left to its fate. Once upon a time, children born here disabled were branded as spirit children and killed. One of the reasons why such atrocities go on in places like this is because of poverty and ignorance. But it is here that a group of women with creativity are making change. Hello.
You're welcome to Swopa.
Thank you.
Most women were not doing anything. They were all back in the house. They were not doing anything. For the start she started, they didn't know that there was anything which will help them. But finally, when they got to know that there was improvement in the place, they all started coming. And now we have about 200 people, and then they can make anything that they want and then bring it, and then whatever they get, they use in paying their children's school fees.
And the results of their work speak for itself. This is feminist power at its best, healing old wounds with such beautiful art. I'm obviously bad at doing this today, but the women here in Sirigu mastered this with so much flair. It takes a lot of hard work and tact. Over 200 of them work here as pot makers. It's a venture that is not only giving them a source of livelihood, but also putting this small town on the global map.
The lady is carrying a basket full of millet and then granules, and then a little bit of tobacco.
I put on fire, so it was not easy.
81-year-old Melanie Kasise began Swopa when she retired from Ghana Civil Service 20 years ago.
In our culture, women have no property of their own. They have no farm. They have nothing that they can call their own except their handmade. Sirigu has gained international fame because we have people coming from mention any country in the world, and they have come to visit Swopa once or another time.
Sirigu's story is changing, and thanks to the work of groups like Swopa, the dark days in this town would be gone forever, hopefully. For Joy News, my name is Justice Beidou, Sirigu.
MPs from the Brunei region have rejected a roadmap announced by the Governor of the Bank of Ghana to pay off depositors of botched microfinance companies. Meanwhile, Member of Parliament for Nkranza North is seeking the protection from the Speaker and National Security following threats on his life. Elton Brobe, parliamentary correspondent, is on the line now and will be giving us a lot more detail now. So, Elton, tell us much more about reasons why these members of Parliament from the Brunei region are rejecting this proposal.
Well, I'm sorry. Yesterday, the governor in his briefing before the committee of the whole told the House that they are in consultation with PricewaterhouseCoopers, an accounting firm, and the Registrar General Department to liquidate assets of DKM Microfinance Company and the other microfinance companies involved in what has become known as a scam, to sell off their assets and use the proceeds to pay off depositors. But that, according to him, would take some time because they need to go to court to get a court order before they can do so. Now, the MPs from the Brunei region are saying that some customers who are already in court have, received court order to sell off some property of DKM and the other companies to defray their costs. And for that reason, this process by the Bank of Ghana will yield nothing So they want the governor to come back to the House and then liaise with members of parliament and the government to see how best they can resolve this issue without necessarily, liquidating their assets and sell them off. Because for them, it would take some time, and they don't think that nothing better will come out of this particular issue. But the expectation is that the governor of the Bank of Ghana will appear before Parliament again next week before they go on recess to brief the House on steps taken so far to pay back the people. But what is clear is that the governor says they would not undertake any bailout for these companies.
Elton, there's also this issue of a member of parliament suggesting that, well, there are some death threats on him. Tell us much more about that as well.
Well, we are talking about a member of parliament from Granza North, Derek Kudro, who is one of the vocal persons on this microfinance issue. And Granza is one of the towns in the Border Harbour region hardest hit by this particular scam. Now, according to him, we got a letter dated 22nd February 2016 delivered to his office. Now, the content, I can read it out to you. It says that, I want to inform you that we will not allow you to organize any news conference in Nkranza. We will chase you anywhere you go and finish you. When you are in your grave, come back and fight for DKM or God is love money for your people. If you are dead, come back and organize people to throw water at your DCU. If you come back from your grave, tell Bank of Ghana and the government to pay back the money to the people. Your days are numbered. Thanks, you dead go. So this is the content of the letter he received in his office.
Elton, many thanks for your time. We'll be following up keenly on this particular issue and be bringing viewers a lot more subsequently. We're taking a break here on News Today. We'll return shortly with some business. Stay with us.
And now time for some business. And exhibitors at this year's edition of Ghana's International Trade Fair have expressed dissatisfaction with the outcome of the event. The 20th edition of the fair, which kicked off on the 25th of February, ended on Tuesday in the northern regional capital, Tamale.
This was the first time the fair was held outside Accra through a collaboration between the Ghana Trade Fair Company Limited and the Savannah Accelerated Development Authority, SADA. Given the economic potential of the northern region, the fair was met with high expectations. But exhibitors who spoke to Joy Business at the end of the event yesterday generally say their expectations were not met.
I was actually expecting a big money because of the fair. Because of the trade fair, I was expecting to get more than what, and the way they did the whole thing was very bad. Because I'm here with the Billy Cow. So the whole thing is very bad. Yesterday, like the people were coming to the outside feeling of the inside so they will come in.
And the governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Kofi Wampa, has indicated that the selling of assets of DKM Finance might not be even enough to pay off depositors. The governor disclosed this when he appeared before Parliament to answer questions from members over development at the microfinance company. There have been calls that frozen assets of the microfinance company be liquidated to pay depositor funds. But answering questions from Parliament, the governor said it might be difficult to do this.
They have paid some people. They have paid some people. We have to go back to ascertain those they have paid and so on. So it's not a process you can do, say, tomorrow. So you still have to do that audit to really ensure that you are doing the proper thing. So I'm saying that we are in that process. We will complete that. That's why we are working closely and very quickly with the Auditor General. We'll continue doing that. And then as soon as we move on there, we will consult members, maybe individually, those who have the expertise in the area to also get some advice on how to do.
And that will be it for business. My name is John Kojo Amwako. Join me at exactly 1 on the marketplace for more business. Bye-bye.
You're still here on News Today. My name is Benedict Ous. Let's talk some sports. And Kumasi Asante Kotoko coach David Duncan says he will not have certain sports journalists distract his attention of achieving his set targets. Now, Kotoko are without a win after playing 2 games in the Ghana Premier League. Well, many have criticized Duncan, with some suggesting that he's not even fit for the Kotoko job. But the former Heart of Oak and Ash Gold coach, in a press conference ahead of the outstanding match day 2 game with defending league champions Ashanti Gold, noted most of the people criticizing him are not even fit to do so.
And you come and tell me that Akowa was supposed to be here and that we should put somebody here. Oh, you have said it, no problem. That's why I always say, in football, I don't argue on football. That's why I'll never go and say, as long as I remain a coach, I'll never go and sit on a radio station or a TV station and do panditing in this job. But the person who has never been there before as a player has never, oh, he should have put this one there, and also Taki way, and Akowa the whole day. And say, yeah, it's as cheap as that, you understand? But like I always say, a log can stay in a pool with a crocodile for 100 years, but it can never be a crocodile. A log, L-O-G. You can be in the same pool or pond, whatever it is, with a crocodile, but you can never turn into a crocodile. You can talk about football, but you can never sit in the technical area as a coach.
So that was Kumasi Asante Kotoko coach David Duncan. Well, talking about that outstanding game between Kumasi Asante Kotoko and defending champions Ash Gold at the Barbara Stadium this afternoon, I've been joined by my colleague Baba Tando for a quick preview. Baba, thanks so much for joining. But before you even talk about the game itself, what do you make of Duncan's comment?
Well, you know how David Duncan is, especially starting the season, playing 2 games and just getting 1 point out of those 2 games instead of a possible 6. Definitely no coach will be happy. And you know how sometimes media unfriendly, correct me if I'm wrong, he can be, especially when he's on the downside. Yeah. So it's okay if he says that, but I mean, that does not mean that if he needs to be criticized, the media will keep quiet, will keep muted, will not criticize him. So, I mean, yeah, that's what he wants to say, but he will not stop us from doing our work.
Okay, obviously, David Duncan is under pressure because you noted that he's played 2 games, just the points, losing to Wafa and also drawing 2-2 with Midday at the Barbara Stadium. Well, he's got a game this afternoon. It's a must-win game for him. Going into that game, what are the dynamics for you?
Well, you know, Ash Gold has also played 2 games and they have 4 points. They drew their first game and then they won their second game. Exactly. And so what it means is that Bashir Hayford is also under some sort of pressure. Remember, they have the Premier League title to defend. And again, they have to make amends because of their shambolic performance they put up in Africa, exiting right at the preliminary stage. And so he will also be under pressure to help his boys to deliver. And so, I mean, coming into this game, I really do not know how it's going to turn up at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. But one thing I can be sure of is that we're going to witness an exciting game this afternoon. Obviously, because Kotoko wants to win and Ash Gold also wants to win. And so who definitely then will win? But at the end of the day, it's either going to be a draw or a win or a loss for either side.
But looking at the strengths of the 2 teams, I mean, you've had the opportunity to see Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Also, you've had the opportunity to watch Ash Gold as well. Which of them do you think can win this game?
That's a very tough one for me to answer. Kotoko have got the players. David Duncan, obviously, not so happy, especially with his injury list, the people on his injury list. He's not so happy about it. Ash Gold, again, just by the fact that they exited their CAF Champions League, what it means is that they are going to put in the extra effort or every extra effort possible to ensure that they beat Kumasi Asante Kotoko. And remember that this is also going to be a regional derby. It's going to be an Ashanti regional derby between Ash Gold and Asante Kotoko. And usually matches of this nature are very, very difficult. But at the end of the day, one must reign supreme over the other. If there's one side that's hungrier to win, it's going to be Kotoko because they have been under the scathing attack of their fans
and also something else. Thank you so much, Baba Tanda, for joining me, especially when David Duncan, requested for some players to be bought for him. They signed as many as 14 new players. And
those were his own signings.
Yes, absolutely. And he's still without a win. So obviously, he's definitely under some sort of pressure at Kumasi Asante Kotoko. So the game is on this afternoon at the Barbara Stadium. Kickoff time is at 3 p.m. And what you can do is that just follow us on Twitter at JoySportsGH. There will be live text for you on that game involving Kumasi Asante Kotoko and Ashanti Gold. Well,
So that's how we wrap up on News Today this afternoon here on your Joy News channel. Remember, there's a lot more news when you visit www.myjoyonline.com. My name is Kwabna Chenche Hinebwati. Many thanks for your company.